often get asked, what is cryptocurrencies and where did it come from? How did it come to being? Cryptocurrency is what's known as a disruptive technology. And I think the first thing to explain to you or to clarify is what is a disruptive technology, and just to understand that disruptive technology happened because of the internet, for no other reason. I'm going to give you some examples quickly, and I think the first good example is Google. Google is a marketing platform, and if you look at the old days and conventional methods of marketing, meant that you needed editors, you needed printing presses, you needed flyers, newspapers, and all the other methods, all the other conventional methods of marketing. And what Google has done is, as a disruptive technology, is basically an application that sits waiting for somebody that's looking to advertise and waiting for somebody that's looking to look at advertising, and gets paid in between. So Google has become the most well-paid media marketing advertising company in the world, truly because of its disruptive technology and how it's changed marketing and marketing needs, and I'm sure you'd agree. Another good example of disruptive technology is a company called Uber. Now, Uber is probably the biggest taxi industry in the world, offering a platform for people looking for a lift to put in contact with people that are wanting to give somebody a lift, and in so doing are creating this new disruptive method of taxi owners and drivers and commuters, where Uber itself does not own one vehicle or one rank of vehicles or anything anywhere in the world. Another good example is Airbnb. Airbnb is a similar sort of thing for people looking for accommodation around the world, and Airbnb is the biggest hotel group who doesn't own any real estate or any hotels or rooms or anything that they rent out. Now, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the reason why I mentioned Bitcoin is because it was the first. Cryptocurrencies are exactly the same, but for finance control, basically taking away the business and the controls from government and banks and putting it into the hands of the people as a peer-to-peer platform, and basically the most secure method of transferring funds anywhere in the world at the cheapest cost possible. So yeah, that's the simple explanation of to the disruptive technology and why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are here to stay. I think to better understand cryptocurrency and why it is here to stay, it's good to understand the conventional money that we use at the moment and its properties versus cryptocurrency properties, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. First of all, to explain to you, standard currency that we use to every day, the old conventional currency, is known as fiat currency, which is a French word for the type of paper money that we use every day, versus cryptocurrency, which is cryptography, which in essence is an application that sits on the internet, no physical money at all, and that's what's going to change the world. Anyway, the first ever cryptocurrency, as I mentioned, was Bitcoin, and was created in 2006, and since then has become the number one coin, if you want to call it that. Much like the US dollar is the number one currency in the world. So everybody uses Bitcoin as a comparison value, as everybody uses the US dollar as a comparison fiat currency. Bitcoin was designed anonymously, very cleverly, and the guy gives himself the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto, and Satoshi Nakamoto is never to be found, but very, very clever design in what he did with an open source platform that is literally 99.99% secure. I've heard that to crack the technology, which is actually in the back of Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, is called the blockchain. It's believed that it will take more than 70 years to hack into it. Even though it's an open source application, which means it's open and freely available to anybody in the world, it is still just so secure that nobody can break into it. There are now over 1,100 cryptocurrencies in the world, and these numbers vary from day to day. Some come and some go. But these are what are in circulation, and most of them are listed on a website called CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap.com, a very good reference site to have a look at the value of what's been invested in the different coins. So definitely worthwhile going to look at that. I also think on that point, understanding a little bit about where cryptocurrency came from, I think it's important to understand where the conventional fiat currency came from as well. Anyway, if you have a look at gold is probably one of the best commodities used for trading, and has been for almost forever, as far back as man can remember. And if you have a look at gold as the original standard, and you think back when the cowboys in the West in America would go and dig out gold in the gold rush, and they would have no safe haven to store their gold. Somebody came up with the brilliant idea of creating a bank and offering a promissory note for the value of the gold, so that the person didn't have to carry his gold around with him. And then anybody else that wanted to sell that person something else like farming equipment or some seeds for their farms would get a promissory note, which means that they'd go back to the bank and transfer some of that gold into their name. And eventually those promissory notes became the currency that we're talking about, which is fiat currency. Anyway, all went well until 1971, which wasn't that long ago, when President Nixon decided that he would de-link gold from the currency so as to print more notes than what value in gold that they had at the time. This for various reasons. And what happened is when they de-linked gold from currency, literally every other country followed suit. So as you can see, what's happened in Zimbabwe and in other countries where inflation has gone right, and the reasons are quite obvious, is that everything works on a supply and demand. And with fiat currency, because you can print as much as you want, to give you an idea, from 1971 to date, you'll find that it is said that the US government has something like 2% of its currency backed by gold. In other words, equal to the amount of gold that they've got in storage, because gold has been running out. So yeah, that's why inflation has right the way it does. And also the deficit, which is basically how much money the government has loaned against the gold that they don't have. The US national debt at present is about $19 trillion, which is phenomenal. And yeah, that's the way things are. So with that said, the main difference between a fiat and a cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a built-in algorithm in the application that no more than 21 million coins will ever be created. This means that people are wanting them daily, and as they are being produced, there's insufficient coins to go around, so people are buying fractions of those coins, and the price of the coin keeps going up. So compared to fiat currency, if you had 1,000 of fiat currency, whatever that may be, by next year or the following year, you'll be able to buy half the value of what that currency is worth. If you have the same value in fiat currency, in cryptocurrency at least, next year you'll probably be able to buy double of what you would buy for the same amount of money. So that's really the difference between fiat and a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin itself was never actually intended as an everyday currency, but what's happened is that there are other currencies or other cryptocurrencies that are, and that's what makes the diversifying of currencies quite great in cryptocurrency. Oh, sorry, I had to break the video for a little bit because there's a group of like-minded people that meets at my office every Saturday afternoon, and they started arriving. So the best I could do was basically shut down from there and carry on now after everybody had left. Bitcoin was never really intended as an everyday currency, and has its faults, but leaded the way for others to follow. There are other currencies which lend themselves more to an everyday currency, and the biggest issue with Bitcoin is probably the transfer speed. If you were to buy a hamburger or a pie or something like that, you might have to wait a little while before the transfer is taking place. Anyway, it was originally developed for the gaming industry, a method to get away from using credit cards and bank transfers, and also because in the gaming industry, together with a whole lot of IT geeks, there's always a lot of hackers, and people could tamper with things like credit card fraud and things like that. So yeah, that's the reason why it was developed. So yeah, it just lends itself more and more towards a secure method of transacting, and companies picked up on that and saw the benefits, and individuals and companies started using it also on the internet for payment solutions rather than using the old conventional methods, and eventually it became a currency, or used as a currency, let's put it that way. The biggest advantage of Bitcoin was not so much Bitcoin itself, but the blockchain, which is the database behind Bitcoin. This is an open source, free to use distributed database over millions of machines, decentralized all over the internet. This is what makes it impossible for hacking, and to close it down is impossible as well, unless you wanted to close down the internet. The blockchain, being a database, is totally an open ledger of transactions that anyone has access to freely. However, try change it and it'll self-heal itself. You can add anything you want at the end of the ledger, but you can't change any history behind it, and that's what makes it so powerful. This is what makes it so amazing. The blockchain is not only used for currencies, but it is also starting to be used for other resources and storage of information and records. There are even governments in the world that are already utilizing it for the peak points of locations for land surveying and any other record keeping that they want to keep, because we know that it cannot be hacked. Anyway, I hope this has all been an enlightenment for you and giving you a better understanding of what the blockchain is, and also Bitcoin, and of course the other cryptocurrencies as well. And should you have any more information that you need, or you've got anything else you'd like to find out about, please drop me a line and ask me, and I'll see if I can help. Otherwise, check it all out on YouTube yourself. Don't forget to like my videos, and also join my channels. And yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Cheers.